we're just busy setting up here quickly. Mr. Don's going to sneak in here quite shortly. Anyway,
I'm a bit too big to sneak, but
while
I'll
I've
try.
got you here, welcome. We're doing a little bit of a live chat this evening. We're going to sit down and talk some fishing with you guys. Just going into focus here. Sorry, guys.
Sneaky. Sorry, boys.
And then please get those comments coming through nice and early. We'll put the laptop on side. He can read the questions off. So get those comments coming through. Anything you need to ask us, we'll try and answer them to the best of our.
But to start off tonight, guys, how's it, Alex? And anyone who's out there, how's it? What I find really cool is the awesome fish oaks are catching on light tackle. Saw 2 oaks this week on 7-foot rods in KZN and amongst the sods.
Yeah.
Get dream leery, like 10, 12, 13 kilos sometimes, oaks. It can sometimes get strung at.
No,
this is the stuff, folks.
Yeah.
You can't wangle the 11-foot and make a little half-ounce or 1-ounce thing.
Dance.
Do its little dance. Your arm's going to fall off.
Yeah.
This is a light tackle. It's fun. When you get 1 kg fish, it's awesome. But you can catch 10 kg plus fish on it as well.
Great.
And the Kuma Wave Power, this rod's been out for a number of years now. It comes out from like a 5.5, 5.6 foot.
Very short one, yeah.
All the way up to 9 foot. They're like 500 odd bucks. They're very mega reasonably priced. I wouldn't say their guides is the most spectacular thing on the planet, but look, they've got a nice action, and they catch fish.
Yeah, brilliant little rods.
You know what I mean?
I was up in Joburg, between Joburg and Pretoria, wherever we were. But look at the full range, beautiful little rods.
And then I was teasing Dean about his skimitar.
The skimitar.
The skimitar.
Sorry, I've been only pronouncing it wrong for like 20 years.
It's okay.
It's fine.
I call it a scimitar.
It's a scimitar.
Yeah,
it actually sounds
scimitar.
better.
It sounds cooler.
It does sound cooler.
Shimano rod, cork bat, decent guides, like 500 bucks, folks.
Yeah, and it catches
7-foot medium heavy. I mean, for spin, what better rod to start off with?
100%.
Be it a youngster, be it your first time into this kind of finesse type fishing, awesome setup. Yeah. And then Assassin. Oh, Assassin rods are expensive, dude.
Not all of them. This one. This
Here's
one.
a little Assassin Slayer. Nothing spectacular, braid-friendly guides, no little weird inserts in that. Little blue coloration, a bit of a cork grip, quite nice and light. Comes in a spread of models as well. 399 bucks, dude.
300 bucks. 400 bucks.
400 bucks.
Call it
400 bucks and you're into the Assassin game.
That's unbelievable, actually.
I mean, and then you got one at the back here, which Andrew kind of insisted on because I suckered him with one a little while ago. I put it in his hand.
Because it's the most expensive.
Because it's the most expensive. But these are the, I don't know if you can spot that, the Assassin Infinity.
Yeah, the sideways 8, guys.
It's a sideways 8, but
this is top end. This is for your.
Yeah, these things, although they're 7-foot light, medium light, and that kind of thing, these things can pluck those 10 kg cob.
Yeah.
You know, they are strong. Their lifting power is a lot stronger than anything else you looked at.
Great.
So if you're hooking to a big fish on the lighter stuff here, patience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got power, you got power to pull,
no issue.
Yeah, this is something more for the very serious ultralight.
How do you make? Here's a question for you though. We've got hook, line, and sinker. You should know the answer though. How do you make a squid blob bait?
A squid blob bait.
I actually don't, but I'd like to hear your angle on the squid blob.
Well, there's different ways, guys. So like squid. Andrew's actually the oak to answer this question. We're like he's
the blob.
Listen, I prefer long skinny baits. Blob baits is Andrew's. So like squid blob bait's a bit different. If you're using foam, obviously shape your foam into.
Yeah, from what I've seen, the oaks when they're using dingle dangles, and I hate the name dingle dangle. The oak who thought of it as a chop. They should be called like a float aid or something like that, or casting, whatever.
Yeah.
Casting float would be a cool name for it. I'm renaming them casting floats. So basically taking your squid strips and wrapping it around that to build it up.
Correct.
And that's when you've bashed the daylights out of it with you. So you're building layers of it, and that's when it ends up being a blob. You can keep it quite small though. A lot of dangles are quite small nowadays, so the guys can use it for blues and that. I still have this phobia that I don't, for a smaller fish, I want my circle to kind of be more in the bait than that gives. That's why I like strip type things. I like a thing that flappies. Squid worms are my thing.
I'm the same as you. But if I was building a squid blob bait, guys, so what I'd do is I'd cut little square pieces of squid. Sounds weird. Hit them with a mallet till they're mushed.
Or strippies, eh?
Yeah, 5 or 6 layers on top of each other.
Yeah.
Cotton before I even put it on my hook. Cotton, get it into the shape I want. And then just where the hook's going to go through, some extra cotton. Take your hook through the squid underneath that big extra layer of cotton you got there and hook it through and it'll sit there like a ball. I don't know, it's hard to explain like this.
Yeah, no, for
I'll try
sure.
to see this weekend when we're out fishing this evening this 1 week. I'll build you guys one and then we'll put it on the channel and you guys can have a look the way I do it.
It certainly works. A lot
Yeah.
of guys for bluefish that they say a blob bait works a charm.
Well, I've learned something about blob baits and listen, they work.
You know, the thing is that I find sometimes fish are in a picky mood.
Yeah.
And it's not going to work too well. It's a good bait when the guys are swallowing and feeding well.
Yeah.
I also sometimes think these fancy baits you've got are really cool to play with when you got the time for it.
Yeah.
But when the fish are already biting, you just want to get a bait out there.
The nice thing about a blob bait too is you alleviate the chances of hooking your small, like your little barbels and things like that. If the bait's really big, they can't really get their mouths over too much. But a barbel will always foul hook itself somehow anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. It's, but my go-to in squid is actually, even with a circle hook, I like to run it my circle through a few times, weed the hook, and I go up above the eye, and I put 80% of my cotton above the eye, so it doesn't slide down, and the rest are hardly cotton. That's my go-to. I leave about a 2 to 3 inch wag, sometimes 2 wags, tails, and that'll be anything from 1.0 setup to an 8.0 setup. I find it works for me. If it's calm and the peckers are around, sometimes some foam into that, but that's just behind the shaft.
Okay, let's see some more questions coming there. Sorry, Don, you're going to have to read it, but
that's
from my eyes there.
Any areas, you know, fishing for geelback from the shore in East London? I know my boat got one years ago at Double Mouth, heading towards Black Rock side. There was quite a nice one caught in the Hoon River a few years back as well.
They were not thick, but there were quite a few in the Hoon River.
Yeah, my boots one must have been about 10 kilo. It was a good fish. Pulled like hell.
But I wouldn't go target them in the Hoon River, guys. That's just I think incidents that the shoal swam in there. And
but I must admit those are the only two I've ever heard of on our coastline.
So I wouldn't specifically, unless I don't know of a spot or I've never heard of a spot, target them from the shore. Maybe get onto a boat.
I'd say where you've got deep water and where you've got particularly cold water upwelling would be your right conditions for them. A normal squid or sard bait is fine. They pretty much behave like cob in 90% of their aspects. And I think where there's deeper water close to shore, because basically it's a shoal of geelback that have kind of come in following some bait fish. So maybe now sardine time, worthwhile throwing a line for it. They don't seem to be as nocturnal as cob.
No.
It seems to be more of a daytime fish. I'm generalizing, but that's my knowledge on it. And I certainly think we're worthwhile having a gooi.
Someone's caught some off the pier. Well, anyway, go try on the pier, guys.
He's seen a few off the pier.
It makes sense. You've got deep water close to shallow water.
I must admit, the pier, I'll tell you about briefly as well. I've been throwing lure off the pier. Yeah, I've done sessions there. A lot of casting practice, but about 6 months ago, I saw a shoal of, they looked like cob. It's hard to tell when you're on top of the pier and you're looking down into the deep water. But they came out the Buffalo, headed out to Eastern Beach, about 40 fish, all about 5 kilo. So beautiful shoal. Didn't sniff a lure.
No,
the Rapala went past them. They didn't even blink, dudes. But that happens, eh?
Not in the feeding mood.
I'm still looking for my geelback. I'm on my yellowtail. If I get a geelback, I'll be happy. But I'm looking for a yellowtail.
Anyway, guys, get those questions coming through. So we've got some questions to answer. We're just going to speak nonsense to you guys.
Let's talk nonsense. Okay, we've done a lot of stuff. There's a lot of hype around these clone lures nowadays. I did a session after our last chit chat.
I remember you shooting out.
And it got a bit cool, eh? Sunset session, I was throwing the new 1.5 ounce clones.
Nice.
My 8 foot, I'm using a Assassin Jewel. I've got 2 bigger size reel, but I must admit I'm too scared to fish with something this small because it doesn't hold enough line.
Tell us the story, Don. I got a laugh when you told me.
I've got a 5,500 Azores with 30-pound braid. I want to hook a yellowtail. I don't want to hook a yellowtail on a little baby reel.
Oh no, you got no chance.
Because then it'll just be a story, no pictures.
No.
Okay, I want pictures. And I was getting 60 odd meters. And that's, you know, they say, how far do you cast? Well, I know my reel does about 1.1 meters a line back to a turn. I was getting 50 to 60 turns back. So that's kind of what I'm working out. And those new clones, I digged, eh? I could skim it on top, literally almost plug it with a high stick. I can fish it right on the bottom and just a lift and a drop, but I was mainly whipping it, eh?
How does that clone on the top? Does it have got quite a nice little tail? It's got a little bit of a tail.
It's got a bit of a tail. It's got a fair bit of splash as well. Eh? So what I quite like about it, even in high speed, it doesn't tumble. So it's stable, you know, which is cool. I was giving that like sideways whip action.
Yeah.
So literally at our time, how long I'd wait between the whips.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm trying to imitate that drop and that lift.
That dart up.
And I didn't get anything, didn't see a fish. The oaks on bait got nothing. The oaks on live bait got
there's
nothing.
no fish, there's no fish, guys. No
And
matter how you can
Our
fish
cold,
that lure like you
our
want
cold clear water lately sucks.
to. You're
But
all 7 weeks of it.
Yesterday, so we're waiting for Coptober to come around. Okay, more questions here. Okay, Carl Woodstock. How can I have a session with you, Dean, for those blacks at Rock? Is it 88 or 68? 78?
It's 86, guys.
86.
A lot of guys have been asking, where's Rock 86?
Next to Rock 87.
It's just after Rock 85, before Rock 87, guys. Anyway.
I was going to ask you though, is that not the same black steermust you oaks keep on catching?
It's not, eh? No, don't say Oaks. It's Andrew. Listen, I'm 6-0 down, guys, when it comes to black steermust. I counted the other night. Andrew's caught 6.
What is the bait this time? Previously it was an ocky head.
That's all he fishes with.
It's
Or a
only
piece of catfish, or we call or octopus. Andrew's, he's really worked it out, guys. He's got this bait. I don't know what he's doing, where he's
But
casting.
I must admit though, them be baby blacks those.
Yeah, they're not big, but off the bricks, like,
Well, how many kilo was that? About 3?
no, those are coming in. Those are 62 centimeters.
Well,
maybe
that's
60.
okay-ish.
That's
It's
not
okay.
bad.
That's
They're not,
okay.
they're not monsters,
It's
but they.
almost braggable, but
Yeah.
not quite.
Yeah, but it's there.
No, they're good fish. Unfortunately, on the tackle, Andrew uses the a little less sporting. I think
But you know what?
I
They
think
come
he needs-
out.
I think he needs to go back to his 12-footer.
But you know what? They come out. They come out.
Yeah, that's true. They come out.
Yeah, Carl, give us a shout sometime. We'll see if we can.
You know what?
a session.
I haven't even been invited to this rock I don't know about. So,
It's difficult. Look,
and
listen,
I've invited these oaks to my black steermust
yeah,
spots.
we're waiting for the day.
It's open, dude. But
Okay.
when conditions are good. I'm not going to take you when it's
Yeah,
conditions
no,
are
no,
good.
Carl, it's very difficult. I work 4:30. We only really know the conditions when we get home. Like the wave boy can say it's 1 meter, we get in it's 3 meters. But so like the decision comes.
I wished I fished as much as you.
Yeah,
guys did,
it
trust me.
rarely comes at the last minute. But send us a message. I'm sure we'll be able to hook you up sometime and take you to Rock 86. Just be prepared to walk.
Yeah, a guy was asking
85 rocks worth of rocks.
on one of our chats today, one of the WhatsApp groups. I belong to too many. Where can you target white steermust? Not white, silver steermust.
Silver steermust.
Muscle cracker in East London area today. And some folks were saying Quileja. I said to him, one of the best ones I saw was called off the Kenaway.
Yeah.
There's that box gully at the Kenaway. This old top he was fishing off the front of that box gully.
Yeah.
And he has Jigmaster, old stick and that. And he was playing this thing slowly. I was like, gee, that old guy's taking forever to wind out this fish. This is about a 16-kilo silver.
Big fish, yeah.
So there are some monsters down there. Blackrock Kanubi's got them, but sinker going away there is like second to none.
I think like Don mentioned earlier, like if you're targeting a silver or black steermust, look for rocks that have got life on the rocks. I think that's
Red
good.
baits, eh?
Yeah, like
If you
there
see
must be-
red bait reefs, you know you're going to catch
you
silvers.
don't like, no disrespect to Glen Gareth, because shame the Oaks have they rape the rocks. There's no life on those rocks. You hardly ever get fish there because there's nothing to bring the fish there. There's no food
Yeah,
for them.
and also your silvers actually don't feed far. They're on our coastline, they mainly feed pretty close in. So you want to see lively reef with red bait squirting here.
Yeah.
Not 100 meters out, you know.
Listen, I'm not a big silver fisherman, but the ones I have caught, I know 2 of them have been on my old pen reels back in the days where I've actually got a bunch casting, and I'm busy taking my bunch and they pick me up. And another one I just done a fluff cast and it's landed 5 meters away and just thought, just leave it.
I've got a quick chirp here.
Go for it.
Okay, I'm going to answer the chirp first and the question probably. Don, I'm still waiting to see your silvers from the comp. I got nothing, absolutely zero. I had 2 bumps the whole day.
Yeah.
And one is Winter Strand had sanded up dramatically. It's all my favorite holes, it is now just sand. But behind the one reef, I got 1 bump on a saddleback. The only saddleback I found the whole day, and I dropped it.
Yeah.
And that is me, hey? And I haven't actually had a silver pick me up in a good 6 months now. It's been a while. So, yeah.
I've got a bit of a question about throw nets there. Why are there different sizes in throw nets? Besides the difference of the spread. Well, obviously, the spread is the main thing, guys, but you get 5-foot nets, 6-foot nets, 7. Listen, they go up to, I've seen Oaks in Zimbabwe throw 21-foot nets. But like, I think in our coastline, 5 to 8 foot's the most popular. 5 foot's nice. I like a 5 or 6 foot for throwing in the surf and stuff like that. Doesn't get tangled up as much. And also if you've got
There are 2 factors. Number 1, you've got to be able to carry it.
yeah, the weight.
The heavier ones get blooming, the bigger ones are heavy.
And when the water's ripping, a smaller net doesn't get tangled up as much as stuff, especially if you're throwing into moving water.
And I find fatigue as well.
Yeah.
And like I used to throw an 8 foot, and now I'm using a 5.5 foot.
Yeah.
And the 5.5 foot, if I'm going like in a river at Hamburg, sometimes the mullets are flat out, no problem on throw. Sometimes 20 throws, and your arm gets a bit sat. And a heavier, bigger net, cool sometimes, but sometimes really tiring. And you only get 10 throws, and you feel like you're exhausted. So kind of like, if I was starting out like a 6 foot net, I think it'd be the way
6 foot net's nice general. It's nice to have a shorter net if you're throwing in the gullies and stuff, looking for mullet. You're not going to overthrow the gully and get your net hooked in the rocks on the other side of the gully. You can be a bit more.
And I must admit, on mullets and on rivers here, guys, if the water's deeper than waist deep, you're wasting your time. So find your spots where they're in the shallows and you're landing on fish. That's the easiest way of doing it. Get to know your rivers and lagoons. There's normally a spot or two that works damn well. So get to know your spots. Okay, I'm still waiting for silvers. I'm still waiting flat out for this. All of my silvers I've caught on red bait. Every single one. Rock bait.
All of mine are bycatchers. Almost every one.
No, I've caught my best was 17 kilo at Kiwani years ago.
Decent fish,
And that is all heavy tackle, pen 49A, heavy mono, and that's old Castmaster. Cranked the boyki, but I lost a lot of big oaks there as well. And a lot of, in recent years, I've got a nice 10 kilo one at Sinsa, so there are fish around. But I still, the big boys, the 15 kg plus.
You don't get too many of those in your life unless you're really good at
I found that your early morning session is when you normally get them pre-breakfast, and you lose a lot of them. I've probably lost more big silvers than I've landed.
I think
not talking about 4 kg ones, I'm talking about proper
silver,
10, 15 kg fish. They pull damn hard.
We were fortunate in Hamburg years ago. I don't know if you guys know Lion Bay in Hamburg, but for a couple of months the silvers were thick and rough, and then you're fishing with sand. So 9 out of 10 of your silvers you got out. So we were quite lucky to get some nice fish there.
I got a big one years ago at Kids Beach. I forgot about that. I don't weigh it, but I caught it on where the beach ends by the first rock there, and the idiot swam onto the sand. Light tackle as well, also like a 12-foot rod.
Pulled him in.
I wasn't too bad at all, but the big oaks are certainly beating me 6 love.
But I think every area's got its famous silver hole, silver spot. Speak to some of the locals there. The older guys, normally the guys they don't do a lot of rock hopping. They stand on one rock. They'll pretty much know where the silvers are coming out in that area.
Yeah, one of our other guys, Clinton, says stay safe. You know what? I've got to chirp this one. Did you check that YouTube? You know what? We're talking social media nonsense here. Did you check that oak trying to land a big? No, it wasn't a big leery, like a medium leery, and his mates are trying to get it off the rock, help him lift it up. And what the one oak was trying to hold his line, and he wasn't happy, and he clapped the oak on with the rod on his head. Did you not see that one?
That one?
Gee, it circulated. And I haven't chirped it. I said, if you clap me on the head with your rod, I'll throw you in after the leery.
Yeah, no.
It's like, oaks, when it comes to landing fish, be nice. I mean, if your mates are treating you like that, find new mates or fish on your own. Like, some guys can be the rudest, meanest oaks. I mean, my boot lost a lovely pig nose to me years ago, and I've forgiven him kind of. But I still didn't beat him on the head of the rod.
And that's one thing. You fish with partners. There's going to be a time where your partner's going to bluff it and you lose your fish.
Occasionally,
it's going to happen, guys.
You can throw them in the water. That's okay, but like.
But it's fine. You still got proof that you caught the fish though, because he lost it, so he'll always back you up in any conversation.
Yeah, no, for sure. So, but choose your fishing buddies wisely. And if an oak's acting like a noggin, shoot him for us. I like to chirp on those things. It's quite fun to watch.
I ran at Kafani the one night after Andrew's cob that I should have picked up, but I was about 2 seconds too late and the hook popped. And it swam in shallow water for about 100 meters. I ran all 100 meters off and I still couldn't catch it.
Most embarrassing one I had is a shad at also cute. Kafani, and the oak dropped off by my feet, like 20 centimeter water, but he was about 1 meter long. And threw the rod down, diving in this water, trying to get the oak. And the sea was like 14. And I had no change. I mean, like I'm 2 kilos from camp. And I was. All my wife says, why are you swearing? Why are you swearing? I'm like, beep. No, that fish I was mad at.
And then it still gets away. But anyway.
I have never seen it shad that size.
But you know what, Don?
At the end of my line. So
if stuff like that didn't happen, a lot of guys just give up fishing, I think, because there's always that one that makes you,
You know what? Those are the ones that got away is the fishing traditional story. Don't make them up, but kind of like have some truth behind them is always the cool thing.
Well, I've been out of school 25 years now. I've still got a fishing story that my mate at school, we got told we were cheating for our essay. We wrote it, the topic of the essay was the big one that got away. He sat 4 decks away from me. We pretty much wrote out the same story because 2 days before, I'd lost the craziest kingfish, pretty much, I think, down at the Eastern Cape in Hamburg River. The only reason we knew it was kingfish, the guys on
Sure, it wasn't Leary.
No, the guys on the bank, on the bank, we woke up in the morning and they picked up what looked like 2 44-gallon oil drums. So I said, why these guys got oil drums on the side of the river? Me being half blind, he's like, no, those are GTs, big kingies that came in. Well, anyway, I ended up losing mine after about 45 minutes of chasing with the boat and everything, but that's the way it goes.
Well, the one pensioner last year in the summer season, he was fishing in our short pier, and he was doing a live bait every day, and I think he got 2 or 3 kingies.
Yeah.
They weren't monster like 3 to 5 kilo, but they are around. And you just got to be right place, right time.
Yeah,
currents coming through.
Those are 30 to 40 kilo kingies, these oaks.
Yeah.
That the guys that fish with the hand line off the riverbank, I don't know how they got them off the hand line, but they got them. They got them in that night. It was impressive to see. Very, very impressive to see. Anyway, guys, any more questions coming through?
Not really, It's quiet tonight. Everyone's cold and done.
Here we go. Story of Dean's life. Yeah, of course, because it was the story of my life. I lose all of them.
You know what? If you haven't got fishing stories, you haven't been fishing enough.
Yo, I've got too many lost fish.
I mean, I must admit, I do catch more than I lose nowadays.
Yeah.
But I do have those sessions where I get nothing.
Yeah.
And lately with the conditions, I've been getting nothing. Yeah. So I can proudly say I tried. I enjoyed the experience and I got out there. My casting practice went well. I had fun trying different baits. But I don't always catch. As long as I don't lose every single fish I catch. And you know what? The ones that do count are the ones that are big boys. When you do land a big 10 kg fish on your own and it's a half-hour flight and you've done well, pat yourself on the back and you allow yourself to tell the story the rest of your life. You know what I mean?
Carl, tell us more story about Hamburg.
Come on, tell Carl. You know what? Where's your stories, dude?
Carl, you're going to come fishing with us soon. I'll sit and chat you on the rocks. I'm not going to wangle on all about it. We are talking 25 years ago. I hope I can remember it all clear as I can.
When are we going to be targeting piggies, he's saying?
Well, pigging, you should
it
be
is time now.
You should be targeting now. The water has been a bit cold.
No. You have no such thing as water too cold for piggies. I watch on YouTube and Facebook.
Yeah.
And I belong to like every single group in the country. And a couple of big ones came out. There was one, I think 1.2, 1.3 meter long.
I saw it of two sitting next to each other. Those were ugly pig.
And there were 2 that I want to got.
Got, yeah.
And they were toms. So we need to go. I like pure surf for them.
Yeah.
Went to Strand onto Cove Rock Surf is my favourite spot for them.
That side of East London is the better side for them.
Yeah, East Coast. The only place I've caught in the East Coast a lot is actually Carmouth.
Yeah.
Just before the mouth of the river there, that last little bay, I pulled some good ones there. But a lot of our section, like Sinsisland,
I don't think there's close enough river estuary systems for them. I think that could be a factor. I might be wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, they do like, but I think the currents are wrong, the sands is wrong, and I don't know. They've got hard to find.
Yeah.
But we need to do a session for them. Definitely.
No, we definitely do. That's definitely something you want to catch.
Kids Beach.
Kids Beach, that's the better area to go catch.
Old Toppy last year, he was caning a 5 to 10 kg every night.
Yeah.
And I know where he fishes, so there are some good gutters there, especially off to the left. And there's some nice eelgrass in the next little bay.
Yeah.
I've always associated eelgrass and sand with them.
Big nose.
And let's get some crab baits out there or some squid baits.
And if you're ever walking along the surf and not ghost crabs, I'm talking about guys, swimming crabs are running on the beach. Pick one up and throw it in, but because that's like a guaranteed sign that.
You know when you're reading your baits in slowly and they're also climbing on it?
Oh, yes.
Dude, those are those, dude.
Yeah,
that's the one.
Good things.
And also white mussel, eh?
Yeah.
I like my white mussel.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your biggest bluefish? I must admit, I suck at bluefish fishing. Mine's probably about 3 kilo at a push.
Yeah.
I'd say yours?
I've been fortunate enough to, I wasn't fishing for bluefish. I'll get the story straight. I'm not going to tell you the weight. I'm going to be like, so I don't really talk weight. But yeah, he was 62 centimeters, guys. It was a big fish.
That's a good fish.
He would have been 5.5, close to 6 kilos. I thought it was a silver. I was fishing for stripies just before night.
Yeah.
A small prawn bait, and I was lucky enough. He came past. The fish was 44 years old, and I Googled him. I did eat him, and I felt sick. I felt terrible, but it's too late. I took him home.
My brother's the bluefish king.
Yeah.
I do mussel cracker.
Yeah.
When the bluefish irritate me, I fish big. But yeah, I've got a few in that like 50, 55 centimeters subclass. Don't always carry a scale with me.
Yeah.
But yeah, a big blacktail. I got like a few 45, 46
Oh,
centimeters.
those are big black.
So yeah, but blues, the big blues in me. Some oaks fish for blues.
Yeah.
Some talk blues,
Yeah, then
beach
you
blues,
get,
sleep
that's
blues.
what they get up to fish for.
That's
yeah.
all they know is
Yeah.
blues. They got their blue rod and their blue, this Daiichi hook
Yeah.
and that color floaty and
It must
and,
be the red
yeah.
hook, must be the pink floaty.
I often associate it with popcorn. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Just my mental thing. And what I don't like about blues is they don't really pull. They do this little sideways jingy. But give me a galyun or a blacktail or a silver any day. I haven't got the patience for it. Clinton, I'm in PE next month. Save a day for me to join us as well. Glenn Chada, going to finally meet you guys and thank Paul Moria for the great service. And that'd be cool. Let us know when you're around. We must definitely do a fishing day sometime.
No, we've been chatting about it.
Invite us social. Just take us all to this rock.
86. Listen, Rock 86.
Rock 86.
We'll have to take.
How many oaks can fit on there?
To be fair, Don, if I like to fish off there alone. It's not because no. You can fish two guys.
I'm teasing you down.
You can fish two guys. If you take shifts, guys, depends how many guys you might take half an hour shifts. 3 guys on that rock is a nightmare. It's a nightmare.
Yeah,
so
okay.
Andrew's got his little spot to the right, which is rock 86.5. We're going to call it now. Where he's been actually getting his fish more than rock 86. But 3-4 guys at a push, and it's horrible fishing.
Yeah, look, there are spots. We can definitely take you oaks fishing where we can all catch fish. I've got a few places that are sure bets. I must admit, I took a lighty fishing on Sunday. My older daughter's boyfriend. He's never been sea fishing before. He's a papgoeie, and he caught a fish on his first cast. So I'm a good gilly.
That's a good gilly. There's nothing better than.
The problem is the Sylvie was the same size as his bait.
That's fine.
It is literally about 5 centimeters long. And my wife then got a lacquer beautiful zebra.
Yeah, oh nice.
About 12 centimeters long.
Even better.
And I came up donuts.
So you came out last. That's fine. That's fine. It's better than catching a pajama shark.
Yeah, no, for sure. But yeah, we must definitely, if you guys ever want to do a session and we can facilitate it, I'm cool. Hey, I'm game.
Yeah.
Definitely. Johan, he's there if there's a social. Yeah, a social. When are we doing a social, Andrew? Whenever.
Let's look at the
look at the tides and wait for the water to warm up.
Yeah. Let's do a.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Just a social get together on a Saturday afternoon or Sunday, and then just go fish.
Yeah. Full days fishing would be lekker.
Yeah. Yeah, the surf.
Or bay or something like that at least.
We can do maybe a Queen. Oh no, it's not going to be. No. Maybe a Gafani. You got the rocks on the left.
We'll debate the point.
Yeah.
We'll debate the point.
What casting weight would you pick for black mussel cracker? Well, but that's a difficult one. It all depends on the sea conditions, the size of the bait. But we fish anything from a 5 to a 7 ounce. So
I use the Loomis Sharky 9 ounce.
Yeah.
I accuse Andrew of being over tackled, but I use the Pen 49A, and I like to use 0.6 mil mainline, and the big boys still beat me.
So it's not a sharp fish, guys.
There's no such thing as too heavy a tackle.
You don't have to fish a 3 ounce, and so he's not a pig nose or a cob. He's going to feel the weight.
I must admit, in the really bricky stuff, an 8 or a 9 ounce doesn't move in the current as much.
You get hooked up a lot less.
You don't get hooked up as much. It goes gunk and it holds there.
That's what I'm saying. You get hooked up less.
And guys, you can't fish too heavy for them, man.
No, you can't.
I bet one more leader's got pink. Okay, we had another question which is more logical here. When's the next comp? We chatted about it in a video tonight. It'll be out tomorrow. Yeah. But you're looking last weekend of July, 10 species. Yeah. Gonna be awesome. Yeah. 1 to 4 ounce 9-foot rod, maybe something whippy with that strength. Gee, that's a tough one.
Sorry guys, excuse me.
The only 9-foot 1 to 4 ounce I can vaguely think of would be your Adrenaline Modularis, but they are stiff as hell.
Yeah. I don't think you're going to find something whippy in a 9-foot that can throw 4 ounce. The tip wouldn't handle it.
You know, if you're looking for heavy lure casting,
then just maybe look at like a.
But that'll be more the 2 to 4 ounce type thing.
You might have to look for like a. What's that popping rod of yours that you actually do bait fishing with?
Yeah, but that's only goes a 2 ounce.
That's only a 2 ounce. Sorry, I thought it was actually heavier than that.
No, So like a heavy popping rod. It's actually a gap in the South African market. Overseas you see a lot of these guys throwing stick baits, and they've got these 8, 9, 10-foot rods that are heavy.
Yeah.
and in South Africa we don't have them yet.
Yeah.
It just hasn't taken off enough. So watch the space.
Yeah.
We keep asking for them. Okay. Do us a video of all the different shapes of the circle hooks. Some funny looking shapes. Stick to the normal. We spoke about it earlier. We spoke about inline and offset.
You get an offset left, offset right, and you get a.
Oh, I don't think that makes a difference.
That makes no difference. The eye of the hook, if it's bent or straight on the top
And
of the hook.
sizing is nutsos.
Yeah.
One 3.0 is like huge, and the next 3.0 is like mini.
And then you've got your gauges to consider. There is a bit of consideration to it, guys. The shape, mainly the manufacturer that chooses his shape. You know what I mean? So your shape.
Can I be blunt? I think they all work.
Yeah.
I don't like the ones that are too thin.
Yeah.
Unless I'm going for like spotties or something like that.
Yeah.
So an all round, it must have a fairly thick shaft.
Like medium shank.
I find the offset works best for me.
Yeah.
It seems to hook in there lacquer.
Yeah.
Brands, I know you actually love BKK. On a budget side, I enjoy Adrenaline.
Listen, even the landed circles, they are quite thin gauge. I wouldn't fish with blacks and silvers for them.
Yeah.
I've got lots of fish with them.
Cobbies, isn't it? Yeah, you can get away with that. For sure. Edibles are not a bad hook. Particularly small ones like Bluefish and that. But you know, an Adrenaline's almost the same price.
Yeah,
Adrenaline's a much better hook.
Those red Adrenalines.
Yeah,
I
use a 3.0 there, and I catch like 1 kg blacktail, and I catch 10 kg cob on the same hook.
Yeah.
So, okay, and a mere 9 foot 1 to 4 ounce. I don't think that goes heavy, isn't it? They're normally
I can't say they do. I'm not expert on the mere.
The XH, I think 1 to 3 ounce.
1 to 3 ounce, yeah.
In that shorter length.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a tricky one to gauge. I use an 11-foot matrix for bait fish.
Oh, 100% you can.
You could.
Yeah.
Last time we said we don't really dig it for bait fishing.
But if you're fishing large, you put a little 2 ounce and a little prawn bait or something perfect.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But I think you're going to lose a bit of your sensitivity through it.
Yeah.
I like a slightly stiffer rod for bait fishing. That's just me. Assassin Saber, 10 foot 2 to 4 ounce. Yeah. Surprisingly, there are some budget rods. I know Adrenaline do like 10, 11 foot up to 5 ounce. And the funny thing is, if you actually hunt it and you don't mind refitting a rod, those old per glasses, they did a 300/6, which a 300 I think is a 9 foot.
9 foot, yeah.
6 would be a 12 ounce.
300 would be a 10 foot. 10 foot.
10 foot. So taking an old casting rod and adapting it to suit modern spinning might be a route to go as well.
Thoughts on Daiichi hooks? Brilliant hooks, guys. I like their J hooks. I'm a big fan of their J hooks.
They're super sharp.
Yeah.
I generally can't afford them because I throw in the rocks too much.
Quite expensive.
They are expensive.
Yeah. I know it's a big popular. A lot of the Bluefish fishermen chatting out earlier.
Yeah,
they're number 1 and 2 are those little red ones, the little octopus.
I must admit that I used some BKK Chinus this last weekend, which is quite a cheap BKK.
Yeah.
Super sharp. You know, I spoke. We caught like fish that size. You know, the BKK Chinu, dude.
Yeah, I got a little blacktail and a stripey. The Chinu and the shark Chinu.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
So sharp, guys.
As can be.
They got stuck in my fingers when I was trying to bait up all the time.
And you know, that's like a poor man's Daiichi.
Yeah.
I can't afford 70 rand for a pack of hooks.
Yeah.
I'd love to, but yeah, that's just.
What do you think of the landed hooks, guys? Listen, value for money. I think it's.
You know, your bait keepers are solid. Nothing wrong with them at all. I think your 2X and 4X are phenomenal silver and cob hooks.
The octopus, if you're using a J hook for cob, the octopus is a great hook to use.
And the 2X and 4X gives you a really strong shank, really sharp point. On a budget, flipping
good.
And
then their Viking, if you're looking for a very good shade hook, guys, their Viking hook.
Yeah, I know.
They don't hold the sharpness as much as like a BKK or a mustard might. But 1 or 2 shade, change your hook.
Look, you know, you might find one in a pack's a bit dull or something.
Make it look like 1 rand 50 a hook, between 1 rand and 1 rand 50 a hook. It's not the end of the world to change a hook.
To be honest though, like I switched up a little while ago to TRC, which is like $20 instead of $10, and I found they were a lot sharper. So targeting some fish like Bluefish and that, I think a slightly sharper hook can benefit you. Okay.
You missed a comment by Cole. Sorry guys, this thing flashes. Once it's off the page, it's off the page. So sorry Cole for that one. Any thoughts on the new Assassin Beachmaster? Give Don actually got one, so Don, that one's all yours.
Okay. But we still miss Cole's one though.
I don't know where it is. It might have been.
But Cole, you got to ask me a second time. Any fish you have seen that you don't know of and only seen once?
Oh, fish you've caught.
My knowledge is pretty good, eh?
Yeah, I caught the only fish I think I caught was it ended up being a bludger kingfish. I caught one the 1 year. A year later, in the exact same spot. Within 2 days, I caught another one, and the next day Andrew caught one. I've only ever seen them come out from this one. It sounds weird, from this one exact
Yeah,
spot.
no, I've actually yet to catch something I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I must admit,
Yeah.
when it comes to like when I was a teenager, Smith Sea Fishes was my
See, I was
my
the same.
go-to reading.
I wanted to be a marine biologist. I
Me
just never
too.
got
Hey?
there.
So yeah, no, we pretty much know most of them.
I knew it was a kingfish. I just didn't know it was a bloody
Okay.
kingfish.
New Assassin Beachmaster. I've got a
Almost done.
5 and absolutely love it. Hey, I'm pushing 120 meter cast on the same bluefish. I was getting a good 20, 30 meters less. What I love about it as well, it's so sensitive. Every little bump, you can feel when a fish picks up your 5-ounce sinker.
Yeah.
And what I also dig about it is you got your bait out there, you're holding, you haven't got this puffness in the tip. It's got a tautness in the tip, which is incredible. And it's lighter than my bluefish by a good few ounces. I mean, even my wife manages to fish with it and she struggles with the bluefish. So, yeah, guys, I'd say very, very close to Evo and Championship. Very, very close. The fishing experience is, I think, almost identical. It might not be as strong if you're into pulling big shocks.
Yeah.
I found mine did phenomenally on a 5-ounce sinker. Managed the 6-ounce okay, but my timing was much better on a 5-ounce.
I was loading up a bit better on the 5.
So when they say optimized for a 5-ounce, they kind of mean it.
Yeah.
But I would not hesitate. I would say the nicest rod I could ever imagine owning. I see no reason to ever upgrade.
No.
So hopefully that answers your question. And they're a pretty good deal. Hey? And they're not cheap. You're looking at like $5,000 for a rod.
Yeah. It is a bit of investment.
But if you look at the other rods you can get for $5,000, I'm afraid to say, flap, it's a hell of a rod.
Good rod.
2 years ago, before the Evo Infinity Taper came out, this would have been the best rod assassin ever made. So yeah, I think cutting edge tech. Kind of a wrap on that.
That's about it, guys.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I think
guys,
we're getting there. Someone deleted their message. Duncan doesn't talk to us. Yeah, he suggested. Yeah, guys, I think all of us are looking for short, heavy rods that are flicky.
Yeah.
And the only one I've really seen is a Akuma flick stick, like $2,000 odd.
Yeah.
But we haven't quite got there yet. Any of you oaks watch, who's the guy, Briggsy and KV?
KV, yeah.
You know these oaks that gooi for these monster kingies and queenfish in Australia? We don't have those rods here. The demand's low.
A lot of Japanese branded stuff they got there.
They're Dawa and that's like a bit of Akuma in the make and that, but they just haven't really hit our market.
They haven't brought them into our country.
You know, a lot of the guys, I think we go too long. A lot of oaks love 12 foot 1 to 4 ounce rods and think this is the veneer, but it's too tiring.
Yeah.
Especially when you're working that action. So hopefully suppliers do listen to us. I've been banging on a few doors lately and saying, when are you bringing in a rod like that? I know there are some new rods coming, and I've been told I will be impressed. I don't quite know if that's part of them or not though. So myself, I use 8 foot. It's a dual zero. It only throws up to 2 ounce, but it can kind of pull a bus. Yeah. So that is my weapon of choice. I wish I had a 9 foot that pushed up to a 4 ounce in the same action though. But I don't like too hard a tip. It must have flick, so always a compromise. Okay, Carl's quoting questions here. Equinox Assassin, what do you think that bad boy picking mine up on Friday from Bilmoria? Put it to the pen fierce 6,040 pound boss. You lack a setup, eh?
That's a brilliant setup.
Equinox is a good one, eh? They're a little bit stronger than the Bluefish are.
Yeah.
And not smidgen heavier, but flop, they feel good. I really enjoy an Equinox. It's actually got the same blank as the Solo, which is a $3,000 rod.
Yeah.
Used to be a $4,000 rod.
Right, correct.
And for $2,000, flip, they're an incredible rod.
I think, Cole, you've got a good setup there, mate.
Yeah, Fierce 6,000. If you got the Fierce already,
I'd say 8.
Stick with it.
Yeah.
No, 8's going to be too heavy for that.
Rod, okay.
What do we? He doesn't say which one he's going for though.
That's what it's.
But Fierce is not my favorite. I think the Battle might be better value for buck. I just think the gearing, the CNC gearing, is probably worth an extra $200, $300. But if you've got one already, that's always the price real.
Perfect, yeah.
40 pound boss braid, good choice, eh?
100%.
If you can budget an extra 20 odd bucks, that slick HP.
Yeah,
The newer one with the rounded profile. I think probably worth the extra 20, 30 bucks.
Yeah.
That's my feel.
Yeah, so it's a 3 to 4 ounce rod, so that reel's perfect then, Cole. You're on the money there, bud.
Yeah, you're on the money. The 6,000 rod size. Favorite bait to fish and what you catch with them? What's your favorite bait, dude?
My favorite bait, all of them, eh?
No, I got sand mussel.
Yeah.
I fish sand mussel a hell of a lot. White mussel, whatever you want to call it. I bite frozen from Bill Moria. Same with the time and energy to find them locally. You do find them on our coastline sometimes. The frozen ones tend to be a bit pupper than the fresh ones. The fresh ones are quite tough. The frozen ones are quite snotty. I've won 2 cob comps on them. I've caught my PB Galjoen on them.
Yeah.
I've caught big silvers on them. I've caught almost all my blues on sand mussel. It's my go-to bait for pretty much any fish. What I like about it as well, even if you don't use them all and you put them back in the fridge and they're 6 months old, you go down the sea, you're still catching the flipping things. They never quite hone. Awesome bait, awesome bait. That's my go-to.
I'd say my favorite bait, guys, if I had to pick one bait, you're not going to catch bluefish on it. Stripey fillet or carantine fillet, guys.
Oh yeah, I could go there too.
There's my.
I don't often get that bait though.
Yeah, I know. That's like, you're guaranteed to pull with it.
And a close second is shad fillet, eh?
So shad fillets, I use most of my shad go-to bait.
Big black steel muss, he loves a shad fillet.
A shad's got to be 60 centimeters to be eaten in my books, otherwise it's bait. Anything less than that, it's bait.
I got a 35 centimeter carantine a while ago.
Yeah.
Wow, about 2-3 years back, lockdown time. And I thought, geez, I'll never see one this big. I thought it was a shad.
Shad, yeah.
My man, that thing made some nice fillets. I converted that to some nice cobbies. So
we were quite blessed on the East Coast there. We get some big carantine quite often.
Yeah, Carl, the 3 to 5 ounce is the Equinox to go for. It'll weigh a 5 plus a whole sword. It's an incredible rod. You'll be very happy with it, trust me. Dean Knudsen says, good evening. Isn't the Assassin Jewel Zero more for jigging?
Yeah.
The weird thing is, the jigging specialist I've spoken to say, no, it hasn't quite got the right action.
Well, it's a bit of a mix between the two, I think, eh?
It's a bit of everything, but it's made up like a jigging rod.
Yes.
So you've got a short little butt, and the rod sticks into it there. I have put a small multiplier on mine for live bait.
Yeah.
I throw stick baits on mine. I throw spoons on mine. I shore jig with mine. I bait fish with mine. And I've never come across an 8-foot that can pull as hard.
Yeah.
Literally, he's pulled.
Yeah, we had a pull in the shop and I couldn't pull any harder.
They're strong. They are super strong.
I don't think it's quite a jigging. Listen, I'm not expert on jigging and popping, but I don't think it's quite a jigging rod or a popping rod. But I think
it's an in-between.
You can get away with it. It's not going to perfect it, but you're going to get away with both.
And what I really like about them is the pulling power.
Yeah.
They cast pretty well. They're going to flick the cast okay. But I've landed cob in the 10 kg class where the guys run 5 meters.
Yeah.
And I've turned him and out, bomb, done. And I like that.
Yeah.
I love to have a rod. If I hook into my yellowtail, I'm chasing a yellowtail, 20 kg yellowtail, jewel, no problem.
Yeah.
0 issues. And that's why I throw this.
But it's still nice enough. You can go to the river, put a live bait out, and get a 5 kilo fish and still enjoy yourself.
Yeah, for sure. 1 kg fish, I'll enjoy.
You're not killing it. Yeah.
I caught little 1 kg blacktail on mine quite often. So to me, it's probably the most versatile stick I own. Unfortunately, the 0 edition's kind of coming to an end, but the normal jewel is a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
And pretty much the same spec. It's close, very close.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of it. Last thing on the Jewel Zero, I know the guys down Cape Town will use on kayaks. Folks love them.
Yeah.
So why they like that is they'll jig, they'll have their clones of them, and they'll have their poppers of them.
You can use
as one rod.
One rod. It's
and
very versatile.
I think that's what I find fascinating. It's nice to have one rod. I mean, I can't afford a $3,000 popping rod.
Right.
A $3,000 plugging rod.
And then you've got a slow jigging rod.
Slow jigging rod. It's like, do I go down with 4 rods when I take a bunch of different lures? Doesn't work for me. Don, do you use the rod from the boat only? I wish I had a boat. I only hook it from the shore. Off the beach, I'm still pushing 60, 80 meter casts on mine. I use it off the short pier quite a lot. Handles river environment brilliantly as well. Light enough to cast all day, which I think is quite a plus. I've yet to spoil myself on the right reel. I'm divided between going for like a small 5,000 size, or do I go for like a 6,000 Gosa? And I'm probably going for a 6,000 Gosa soon.
Sorry guys, I'm just we don't have the best chairs in the world.
He's got numb butt syndrome.
Numb bum, yeah. Excuse me, I'm gonna cramp
in
my leg.
I use an Azores 5.5. It's an old reel, but I trust it and I've flayed the thing, and I use 30-pound braid on mine. It's probably a hint heavy, but I'm targeting yellowtail. And I've gone down to 4,000 size Shimano on it, and the fish is fine, but it's to me it's got a heavy-ish
feel to it.
I'm not trying to catch babies.
Yeah.
Last comp, I got a nice comp of about 8 kilo, and he went around some rope.
Yeah.
And I managed to pull him out, no problem. That's an incredible rod, eh? Flipping recommended.
Okay, so we look at the 1 and 2 last questions, yeah?
Yeah, 8-foot go with the 4K reel. You know, I spoke to Sean from Assassin, and he says the 6K go. So, believe it or not, we're actually chasing big fish. I have hooked yellowtail once or twice on a 4K reel.
Yeah.
It's a very short experience.
Quick, off, yeah.
I think I spooled, let's say in that show, the movie, they're gone in 60 seconds.
Yeah.
I reckon I spooled in 30 seconds.
Yeah, I think, listen, if 6K reel, 4K, like I take the 6K, it's not crazy amounts heavier. Yes, it is heavier, but then you're also getting a stronger reel in itself. You know,
gears are bigger, but I think you must always be able to hold 300 meters of your chosen braid.
Yeah.
That is like the safe zone.
Yeah.
And 20-pound cool off the beaches and that.
Yeah.
But in the bricks in that 20-pound yang, you're pushing it. It's it
yeah,
makes
like
it tough.
4,000 for me, I'd keep for my river fishing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love a 4,000 reel, but not for a 10, 15 kg yellowtail.
Oh, no.
You know what I mean? We dream big, boys. We dream big. I think it's pretty much, is that a wrap?
I think that's a wrap, guys.
I think we're a wrap, Oaks. We'll try to do this again next week.
Yeah, so this sounds like fun, guys.
Yeah.
So keep your questions in mind if you weren't able to ask them tonight.
Last closing thing. While we're chipping about 4,000, 3,000 reels and that, we've got to spread little reels in front of us here.
Yeah.
TP reel of choice.
The Kuma Jaw.
A Kuma Jaw.
Yeah.
$500 odd, like a little reel. Shimano FX. Killed mine in a year of drop shot.
That's fine.
$500 odd though.
Entry level.
Does the job. Smooth as hell. Shimano. Pretty.
Was the next save.
Next save. Besides the couple more extra bearings and a prettier finish, pretty much the same thing as an FX though.
Okay.
Dawa. Some folks love these things, eh?
Was it a little sweep fire or?
I think it's a sweep fire. Eh? I know quite a few of the light tackle boats, Oaks, in the rivers and that, they dig these Dawas. I've got zero experience in them, I'll be honest. Tempted, what they call the LT range, the light tough range. They do like a Legalis, a Pro Rex. They change the ranges so bloody often that I can't quite keep up with them. And some Oaks say not quite as durable as the others.
And the lot, not at least, the little Kuma.
Yeah, Seymour HD, guys.
Seymour
HD.
Apologies, yeah.
These things are flipping smooth.
Yeah.
It hasn't got a carbon matrix drag in that. But for $9.99, flip, I don't think you can find a better reel in the lower end bracket. High end, you start talking about things like Nesky for like under $2,000. And then you start talking about your Stratix and that kind of thing. I don't think it's necessary to spend $4,000 on a small reel. It's nice, dude.
Unless you're really competitive or really young.
No, I'm competitive, but I just don't think it's worth it. I mean, it's my lines is going to be my weakness long before my reelers.
Yeah.
My 10, 15 pound will pop long before my gears, my drag pops or cooks. So some awesome reels. Akuma top value Oaks. Shimano best line layer. Dawa in the spin, an improving reputation. Yet got to cement it.
Yeah.
So that's my go-to on those. Pen's a little bit heavy for it. Most of the pens are small sizes.
They're quite chunky.
Solid reel, but a little chunky. Jaw is supposedly a freshwater reel. There's no such thing as a freshwater reel, X. You can throw it in the sea.
Just don't get it wet.
Try not to get it wet.
Or try not to.
Don't dunk it under the tap too long. And look, for $500, if you get a couple of years out of it in saltwater,
you're not going to get a full-on saltwater reel for $500 anywhere along the way.
Yeah, no, I dig a Jaw. They're like a prettier, like a modern, stylish. Okay, cool, Lux.
Anyway, guys, thanks for joining us this evening.
Andrew wants to go home.
We'll be back next Tuesday. I'm so hungry.
Yeah, me too.
I'm going to start getting grumpy now. You don't want to see grumpy me.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
From Dean from Untraceable Fishing and Don from Bull Moria. Cheers.